Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Two Dads, One Car, where we talk about modern fatherhood. My friends, this is going to be another very special episode. We've had VIP guests from the local level of government, from the provincial level, and now we're heading to the federal level. That's right. We have the one and only Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the federal NDP party, but also a very cool and very rad dad. As many of you know, we take a very apolitical view on this podcast. It's really about talking about modern fatherhood. And so I'm excited to get his perspectives. He's currently here in Burnaby. He is a father of two. We're just behind his office and we're gonna go pick him up. And so stay tuned. It's gonna be a fun episode. I love the guy, love watching his reels, and he's super engaging. So with that, we'll chat soon. Cheers, bye. So Jagmeet, we did a intro to you earlier, but why don't you talk through your fatherhood profile, number of kids, rough ages, and we'll start from there.
Yes, my CV. I am a father. Two daughters, proud girl dad. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a girl dad episode. I'm a fellow girl dad, so I can't wait to dive into this with you. Nice. The first question we normally ask, what would you say is like an unspoken truth about fatherhood? Something that's not shared as widely, or is like something that, I wish I kind of knew more about. Like,
an unspoken truth.
Yeah.
It will like open up your heart in a whole different way and make you real emotional in a beautiful way. And I feel like it's something you should embrace.
Yeah, there is something about that emotional element.
Yeah, it's
right?
beautiful.
I feel like I actually feel like since I've had my daughter, I've actually cried more in like movies or like these incidents than before.
It opens you up. I feel like it's cool. I mean, it was a part of who we are. Like, we got to be tough sometimes, and then we also got to like feel our emotions. And daughters help you do that. I feel like, even if they're not like trying to do anything specifically, like it's not like she says, "Hey, Dad, you should feel your emotions," but just like I think there's something about, and maybe it's just kids in general. I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't say because I only have 2 daughters, but I feel like kids definitely make you feel your emotions more. Make you feel, and that's a good thing.
What's been like a pivot for you, like when you first had your first daughter, like like just everything, like what has changed in that sense?
Okay, you know what? This is a bit
I'd love to.
interesting.
Yeah, please.
So I had to take in my kid brother when I was 20. And I always was very involved in taking care of my siblings.
Yeah.
So my wife and I have this very interesting thing where for me, it wasn't the biggest shift that way because I was always the one that cared. Like I was always the care provider. And then things were really rough with my parents, and I always stepped up and took care of them as well. So this idea of being the care provider was very natural. So the first day, daughter, bring her back from the hospital, normally people are like, now what will we do? I'm like, let's go. I'm ready to go. I'm in this. I'm the care provider. I've always provided care. So I felt that was a bit unique in that I didn't feel that same, oh shoot, what do we do now? I had lots of other challenges.
Yeah,
and I was like, what's
for sure.
going on? And was a mess and not knowing how to deal with like a challenge that was presented with me at one point when she wouldn't eat or she wouldn't sleep. Like I had those challenges.
Yeah.
But the general concept of being a dad, I was so well prepared for it. Like just the idea of being someone who always like, I was 20 going to university, going to Western.
Right.
Shout out to Jenny who went to Western. And going to work in multiple jobs, taking care of my brother and putting food on the table. Like, so I was already a care provider. So that was already a part of my life.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. And so I guess like when your daughter came to me, it's like, I've done this. I've been through this, right?
Yeah,
like,
well, I'm not with a human that has these baked in design flaws, like doesn't want to eat or sleep, which are the 2 basic necessities of life.
Yes.
And then kids are like, we're not going to eat and we're not going to sleep. And you're like, well, that is pretty fundamental to living. Why aren't you doing these things?
That's what I'm struggling with now too. It's like the eating and it's the sleeping part of it.
Right.
Like it's like she's like only eating like mac and cheese. I'm like, oh my god.
We failed. Yeah, I was always like, oh, I'm gonna cook. I do cook. I'm like the main cook in the family. I'm gonna cook all these amazing meals, and she's gonna be like, thanks. She calls me Bapuji, which is
I love it.
Word for dad.
Look at
that's
this.
the cutest thing.
Here.
So, we're both taking selfies of us. And I'm like, oh, she'll be like, thank you, Bapuji, for this delicious, beautiful meal.
Yeah.
She'll eat all these great things that I cook for her. Like, no, she does not eat all the yummy things I make for her. I make her these beautiful plates, and then she'll have 1 bite or no bites. And I'm just there so sad that she's not eating the food that I just made.
I resonate with that a lot because like on the weekends I love like really going to the kitchen, steaks and making pho. Like I'm half Vietnamese and like making these home cooked meals.
Yeah,
and she looks at us like, no. I'm like, oh my gosh, she wants
Right?
cheese strings.
I know, she wants cheese strings. Yeah, like she wants butter sometimes, just butter. Like I'll be like using butter maybe to make a grilled cheese sandwich. and I'll like elevate it, add in some cool flavors, saute onions. She's like, no, I want none of that. I just want to eat the butter.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, give me the butter. She's like, give me a spoon of butter. I'm like, no.
This is stellar. And so, Jagmeet, I mean, some of our audience members are from Canada, but many are from the US.
Cool.
And so, I mean, for those to give context, Jagmeet is one of the federal party leaders here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been drawn to you from the beginning. I love your videos on Instagram,
Thank you,
the
thank
way
you.
you come across. Many of our listeners have very busy lives. They're traveling a lot. And
Yes.
I can only imagine you're going from Ottawa to Burnaby to other cities. How does this all work? Have you found a clone? Like, have you?
No, we have a very, I'm like very privileged in a lot of ways in that my wife decided to be a full-time mom, and she's also decided to support me in my political endeavors. So in some next phase of my life, I'll have to be full-time committed to her, whatever her vision is. But so she's been really supportive, so I'm lucky in that way. And we basically travel together.
Okay.
So as much as possible, we all kind of move in a little caravan. So we got all four of us, and we'll be in Ottawa together when Parliament's in session. So we're all in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And then when we come back to Burnaby, like right now, like my wife, kids are all here in Burnaby with me. So we travel a lot together. And then we'll have this rule that if, as much as possible, I try never to leave Gurkidden with two kids. So then I'll take one kid with me on the road. So many times I've gone campaigning and working, and I bring a kid along with me, which
Holy
I'm also very
smokes.
lucky to be able to do that. Yeah. So
Love it.
I've gone multi-days, and then people are very confused when they see me, and they know what I do, and they see me with one of the kids, and they're like, oh, like your partner's obviously with you or something. I'm like, no, it's just me and her.
Yeah.
Like, what? Are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I'm lucky in that I could bring her to a press conference, and I've held one of my daughters in my arm through the whole press conference and chatted.
Love it.
I can go door to door with them, knocking on doors. People tell me what they're concerned about, and they're like, "Oh, you've got your daughter with you." I'm like, "Yeah, she's here, coming along for the ride." So I can bring her with me, which is really a huge privilege that I have. It's not something I would probably be able to do in a lot of different workplaces. Like when I was a lawyer, I wouldn't be able to bring her with me to the courtroom.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky that I can do that in my work.
And it's so great because you're showcasing like what is possible, right? And part of this podcast is talks about modern fatherhood, right?
Yeah.
And maybe before COVID, they're like, oh no, the kids should not appear on the Zoom screens, or like they're
Right,
not
right.
with events. But I think the stuff that what you're doing is like, oh, this is acceptable.
Yeah, I
Right?
think so. Yeah, where it's possible. Like, yeah, what's wrong with at a meeting if you're able to focus and you're just holding your daughter in your arms, then she just gets the comfort of being in your arms, but you're still able to contribute to the meeting, listen in on the meeting. I think it's beautiful, and I've noticed more and more parents are doing that. So
Yeah.
why not?
Like I think you're leading the way here because it just makes it more like authentic, more personable, right? Like it's- I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta acknowledge though that it's not something that everyone can do. Like,
For sure.
Depending on your work, like if you're working in like a dangerous workplace, you're working in a factory, you're working in a lab that's got sensitive materials. Like there's lots of places
Yeah.
where you couldn't bring your kid. But where it's possible, I think we should, as a society, say, yeah, it's acceptable and it's cool.
How do you? One thing that I'm trying to figure out. So I have a 3-year-old right now,
Right.
and like my work is probably not as crazy busy as yours, but it does require traveling
Yes.
once a month.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to navigate the work travel, the home life, the career, the different aspects of it. Do you carve out time for yourself to like stay centered in the beginning of the day? Just curious to know, like, because when you're on TV and the media, I think what I love is that you come across so centered. So you have this clarity about you that
That's so cool that you noticed that.
I do, and I feel like there's something inside. Like I want to learn about this.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, and
Please.
there's no secret to it. I have like a very strict rule of like, I have to do a whole bunch of things in a day to keep me grounded. So I have to cook every day. So like cooking is a big part of my daily ritual. I meditate, I work out, I have to get time outdoors. And I will do it at the oddest times. Like if I have worked all day and I've had no time to be outdoors, I'll go for a quick walk, even if it's late at night. I just need to get some outdoors time. And I love to listen to music, so I gotta listen to music every day. So I'll squeeze in a beautiful song that I love, and I gotta dance a little bit every day. So
Love
I
it.
have this list of things that I have to like check off every day, and those things give me joy, because I feel like my work, I want to give that inspiration to people. I want to give that positivity and that joy. And even when we're faced with a lot of challenges and tough times, I still think it's important to keep this spirit of we can get through it, we can make things better. And I can't say that if I don't feel it. And a part of me feeling it is trying to find those moments. And then of course now those are all my things before family, and now I got to get in some snuggles with my kids every day. I got to get in some one-on-one time with each of them separately.
Yes.
I got to make sure me and my wife can connect. So I just try to, no matter what, squeeze in all these things. And it's tough because life is so busy.
Yeah.
But I just make it a rule that however I can, I got to squeeze in all these things.
And it's something you try to do like daily-ish?
Yeah, daily is my daily rituals. I got to do these things every day. And then I meditate. It's a big part of my life.
Yes.
I eat healthy and I work out. So these are all my things I got to find ways to squeeze in every day.
I love it because I do sense it, right? And
That's so cool.
I think that's it. There is this sense, there's this, when you speak, and there's this centeredness, and I think it's from what you're talking about with the meditation, with the walks outside, with that intentional time, because yeah, it's easy to get carried away.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say one other thing.
Please, yeah.
It's something my mom taught me, and I think it's like very fundamental to who I am. And it'll sound a bit hippie and weird,
No, let's do
new
it,
age.
yeah.
But when I was a kid, she said that we were all one. And I was like, well, what do you mean we're all one? We're all so different. We come from different places. People speak different languages. And I was like, we're all one. And she would really like repeat this again and again. And when we do like volunteer work or serving people food, she would always say, you're not serving a stranger. Imagine you're serving me. You're serving your mom. You're serving your dad. You're serving your brother, your sister. You're serving yourself. Imagine that you're actually, that person is you. And you're caring for yourself. And while it was hard to understand, and it sounded a bit like random as a kid.
Right.
As I got older and older, I really believed that idea. And then we could be different, and that's beautiful, but we're still one. And that is what drives me. It's like what guides me in the work I do. Like, how do we build a better Canada where we take care of each other as if we were that person? So if someone else is having a hard time, I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
But if I help out that person, I'm helping myself out. So that's a big part of what I do.
There's so much deep empathy in this.
Yes. That's I think what my mom really wanted me to learn. It was like basically deep empathy. I think I call it radical empathy.
Right? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, just radical empathy, like really feeling the other people around you, and just like feeling that connection.
I just feel so much like, I don't know, dare I say love at the moment, in the sense where it's like, it's like when someone's speaking the truth, it resonates inside. At a level, you're like, you get those chills down your spine, and that's what I'm feeling right now.
That's so cool.
Because I think it's powerful to see that sometimes, I think in the world when it's very chaotic, right? There's a lot of bickering, and you're in this, you're in the middle of it, right? And you're seeing like geopolitical tension, tariffs, may I say, like other aspects that are occupying the mind space, and it's like, how do we step above that fray? And I think you're such a shining example of that, and I feel like your children must feel that as well too.
Well, I hope they do. I want to give them, just like fill them up with love and let them be free. I feel like one of the things my mom did really well, I think we do this as parents, you kind of think about the things that you loved of your childhood and things that you're like, maybe I want to fix that, right? Both those is fair, it's honest, right? You gotta be like, some of those things maybe I'm not gonna do, and then some of the things I'm like, I'm 100% gonna do. My mom was really, and my dad too, really wanted, like if we had an interest, they're like, all right, we're gonna double down on that interest. Like if you wanna do this thing, we're gonna help you do that thing. And so I felt that was a beautiful, like, I remember once I wanted to learn French. I was just like, randomly as a kid, I'm like, I really want to learn French. Yeah, I just really wanted to learn. There's a bit of a backstory to that, but I really wanted to learn. And my dad was like, all right, done. And he went out of his way and got me a tutor, and he got me help over the summer. I wanted to do this over the summer. Right. And I loved my summer vacation, but I was like, no, I want to do this French thing. And so there's like, cool. It was a bit random for them.
Yes.
They were both probably more like, we want you to do everything related to science and math. As my dad is a physician and my mom's a teacher, so they're just like science and math are the best. But they're like, if you want to do French, sure, we'll do it. And I want to do that for my daughters. If they find an interest and something that they're into, whether I'm or not, like I want to give them that freedom to be able to explore it.
That is so funny, because I did realize like, maybe Jagmeet like learned French during like university because he was thinking of politics, but I didn't realize it was back when you were like very young.
It was so random. It was it was a really random decision, and I think my parents were legit like very confused why I was so obsessed. But I think like I love languages. Yeah. And it was just a random decision when I was younger, and that really set me up. Like, I don't think I would be able to speak as well as I do now, but for the fact that I really started trying when I was a kid.
That's incredible. And we talked about parental influences, right? And so you mentioned things you want to carry on.
Yeah.
And so what part of that trickles down to the way that you parent and the way you approach your children, right? Is there a way that you carry through things you want to avoid? Like, curious to get your perspective, and how do you also balance that with like your wife, and how does she?
Yeah. Well, we're very aligned in a lot of ways, which is cool, and I feel like we complement each other's priorities in other areas. Like, one thing that my wife is very on top of is sleep. And I'm a little bit, like, I myself kind of cut sleep.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'm not the best with the kids with sleep. So I'm like, whatever, you don't sleep. But she's right when she talks about how sleep is, like, most important thing for development and for growth and for all these important. So she's very focused on that, and that's something that I take her lead on. So she's got that. I'm, like, interested and focused on other things. Like, I think spending time outdoors is very important. But I think together, if we can get them to sleep and spend time outdoors, boom, that's a great combo.
Sleeping outdoors.
There you go. That's common in, in some of the Nordic countries, right? Even in the winter, they have them sleep outdoors. But in terms of parents, so one of the things, like I mentioned, my mom and my dad supporting our passions or interests. I think they did an awesome job of that, so I want to do that. And I think in a lot of ways, my mom wasn't too fussy about small things. Like, she didn't nitpick small things that I was doing. And as a parent, you really got to pick and choose what you're going to prioritize. You can't be on top of your kids over everything. You have to choose, like, what's really important. And I think that is something that I definitely want to continue.
Hello, I'm gonna re-listen to this episode and just soak this all in, right? Because
now you're making me feel all blushing.
No, this is great. I mean, this is kind of the stuff we need in the world, and part of this is to talk about, what is possible. How do we approach? Because I think I do feel there's a lot of noise out there too, right? And I get it. These are tougher times, right? And I think a lot of parents nowadays are having some challenges, right? Trying to figure out things like daycare, like housing, 100%. Right? Tax, everything that's part of it. And so, what are things that, like, we can do to help support, parents, like, in today's world? Like, what are things that us as a community, I'm just curious to know, like, what are the things that I personally experienced when I was going through the first years that, something simple like change tables, right? I noticed that some washrooms, there's change tables and the female washroom, not the male washroom. These are small things, but I'm just curious. I think we're creating this movement and I would love to get your perspective on things we could do.
I think the biggest thing for me, the thing that I'm so focused on, is very good quality, affordable childcare.
Yes.
Like, that is so fundamental. Like, parents honestly just need a break sometimes too, and it's so intense. And childcare, not only does it give parents a break, but it also allows both partners to be able to work and to pursue their other interests, or sometimes just as basic as putting food on the table. Like, you gotta, at this time of day, or this time that we're in right now, with cost of living so high, just to survive, both parents need to work. And so some families choose not to have kids, not because they don't want kids, but they're like, we both need to work. If we had a kid and we can't afford childcare, we just can't do it. So childcare, to me, I think, is one of the top things, and it's something I really fought for. We brought in a law to make childcare the law of the land. $10 a day is our vision, and we want to make that the goal. Got a lot of funding for it from the federal government, so that's something I really believe in, kind of as a social policy. And then I think what we could do as a community, if we think about, like, parenting as a community, is to give each other a lot of grace.
Yes.
There's so much pressure and judgment, and, like, are you doing this? Oh, you're not doing that. Like, that kind of feeling of, like, oh, I'm failing my kids is not healthy. So I think we have to give each other a lot of grace, and as much as possible try to tackle the culture of judgment. Like, we can't judge each other. Like, people are doing the best they can, and we can't create a culture of, like, this judgment or this kind of I'm better than you. Like, I think that can be toxic.
Absolutely. And there's so many things that I just picked up from what you said there, and absolutely with this judgment. And it ties back to what you said earlier on as well about, like, we're all one, right?
Yeah.
And so, for those who are on camera, we're back at the stop sign.
I was gonna,
and this lady loves to take a photo of us. So we're just going to say hi to her again.
That's so funny. Do you think they know that we're doing a podcast? I guess the camera
is.
Yeah.
We'll keep this in the edit. We'll keep this in the edits because it's hilarious.
That's funny. I was going to say, this spot right here, my wife and I, when we first moved to Burnaby, we had promised each other that we were going to take salsa lessons here. This, like, random, really cute community kind of dance location.
That's right.
And we've not yet done it though. So we really want to do it. So anyway, now we're just driving by it. Every time we drive by, we're like, oh yeah, we're supposed to start taking lessons at this. It looks so cute. It looks very mom and pop.
Love it.
But I've never actually gone in yet.
I mean, this is actually a good tangent. So like, I think with work life being busy, 2 kids, how do you and your wife carve out time? And like,
oh, you know what? This I give her a lot of credit for this because she really believes in date night, and I was like, oh, we can find time every day, but you know, you have to dedicate the day, like dedicating like a date night. So kudos to Cricket if you watch this podcast. Give you bad credit for that, but yeah, date night is vital, and she gets all the credit for being like, no, we can't just like hope that it's gonna be. We'll carve out some time in the day. Like we have to be very meaningful around like intentional. This is gonna be our day, or this is gonna be. We have date day as well. Sometimes it's easier with the support that we get, which I'm really lucky from grandparents.
Yeah.
That daytime support is actually easier. So maybe a lunch date instead of a dinner date. Because as it gets later in the evening, the kids got to go to sleep, and then the grandparents might have a hard time putting them to sleep. So date is actually a new thing.
Okay.
Yeah, going for a date during the day.
I'm actually gonna borrow that, because like sometimes you're like, okay, after the kids go to sleep, we're gonna go for like a drink or like go for something, right? Or, like we're just exhausted.
Yeah. It's too late. It's already too late. It's too late. Yeah. 100%. Because that's what you think, right? You think, oh, once they go to sleep, then we'll have time. But what if it takes forever for them to go to sleep?
Yeah.
Which honestly happens all the time.
Exactly.
It takes forever to go to sleep. And then your window of chilling gets like smaller and smaller. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this.
Daytime dates. That's key.
I love this. If I could pivot to something future looking, right? And I think sometimes when we think about our children, we talked earlier about policies to support parents. I guess like, is there something that you're intentionally doing with your children in terms of values, right? In terms of teaching, like, is it? And I don't know. I'm curious to know your thought process on there, right? Because I think they may see, for example, someone like a public figure yourself, right? They may see you on stage, see you in media, and maybe down the road, right? Maybe they're watching this podcast. That's a good one.
Well, more and more people are, so yeah.
Right? And so it's is that on top of your mind, or like, yeah, what does that look like?
Well, I hope to set a good example in life for the people that pay attention to me, and so I try my best to just live my best life and be the good human that my mom taught me about, the values that I was raised with, and try to have those shine through in the work I do. With my kids, and things that I think about, like what I want for them, or what I want for them for the future. I think one of the most important things, I think I was talking about this idea with my wife's sisters, my sister-in-law, and we were asking each other, I like to do these kind of quizzes. I'm like, what is the thing that you want to teach your kid? What is the most important thing you want to teach your kid? And she thought like respect was something important. She wants them to be respectful. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. And I was thinking, well, I asked the question of her. I'm like, I was thinking about it myself. And the thing that I really want for my kids is to be compassionate. Like I think kindness is like the most important thing. And I think the world needs more of it. We need more kindness, and we need more compassion. So that's the thing that I really want to, if I can think of one really important thing that I can pass along. We said a little.
That's fine.
Technical difficulty there. One thing that I really want to pass along to them is kindness. And the one simple thing, like a very I'm struggling with it. It sounds very easy, but I'm not winning on this. Is I get why culturally in the Punjabi culture, we would always say, kids were always taught to like greet people.
Yes.
Be very intentional about greeting someone when they come in to the house, and then saying bye to them when they leave.
Yeah.
And using a traditional kind of greeting. And the word is Sat Sri Akal. And you were like always required to say this when someone new came to the home and when they left. And I feel like a part of that is teaching compassion, because you're showing that there's other people in the world that you want to give respect to, that you want to care about, that you want to acknowledge. And so as a young person, you kind of think sometimes the world is just about you, or maybe about just you and your parents, and taking the time to actually greet somebody. And then, like, they don't have to hug them or even high five them if they don't want, but I want them to greet people. And I'm not winning on this. Like, I'm getting like 1 out of 4 attempts she'll actually do it. But that's something that I feel like is something that I want them to learn to do.
That's amazing.
Should I put this back on?
Well, So we'll just do a pause here.
Okay.
Start on this side.
Was it on this side?
Yeah, I think it's fine. This is only meant for like short clips, so I think we'll be good.
Oh, okay. Is that okay? We'll leave
Yeah,
it?
we're good with it. Yeah.
Okay, I think I can figure it out. Do you want to put it on here?
Maybe on the just here. On the very far corner.
Oh, this corner down here?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I can't for sure.
Not high press there.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I think it's good now.
All right. This is the beauty of in-car recordings.
There you go. I think it's
Let's
good.
do it.
Yeah, I think we got it.
Awesome.
I was gonna point out
Please.
Burnaby stuff, but I
Yeah,
didn't.
let's do it. Let's do it,
Well, we
please.
pointed out one thing.
Yes.
Bonser, we circled Bonser a bit.
Yes,
Bonser
that's
is
right.
like an awesome community center. Can I say,
Please.
having lived in
Please.
different parts of the country,
Yes.
lived in Windsor, lived in Newfoundland and Labrador, city of St. John's, which is the capital. Lived in Brampton, Mississauga, and now in Burnaby.
Yep.
Burnaby has some of the best community centers.
Yes, actually.
Like
you're
it's
right.
wild how good some of these community centers are. Like we are really special. We're really lucky. It's very special to have such amazing kind of community centers.
There's something about community centers and libraries that, I think when I was
Yeah.
a single guy, like I didn't really think much of it.
No,
Like,
right?
What is this for? I mean, don't worry, I get what it's for, but like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've
You
been
don't
to a
appreciate it
library
the same way.
as
yeah.
much as I do now.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And maybe that's one of the policy elements to think about, right? Like, what are ways that we can build these kind of facilities or
100%.
support these facilities?
Yeah. Better community centers, better access to libraries. These are key. Like having like the Edmonds Community Center is my go-to,
Yeah.
and the pool that just anyone in the public can just pay a couple dollars and you can go access this amazing pool.
Yes.
It is awesome. It is such a great, and for the kids, like there's like the kids kind of lazy river. There's like a shallow,
Yeah.
heated pool, so kids feel so comfortable kind of walking right into it. That's amazing, and it's so cool to be able to. I love that I get to meet my constituents there, and they're always like, "What? It's so cool to see you here. You're at this simple pool." I'm like, "It's not simple. Hey, this is actually a very nice pool." But
Yeah.
it's so cool to be able to meet people, and it brings people together. And there's this feeling like I feel like it makes us closer neighbors when you can equally access beautiful places together.
Yes.
Like I think that's something really cool.
And it goes back to what you were saying earlier about this connectedness amongst all of us.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I think when you have these like smaller community elements, like libraries, like community centers, like
Totally.
coffee shop conversations,
Totally,
right?
totally.
And the fact that you are very intentional about your day too, it just makes it so much more whole.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get like the secret sauce here. I love it.
Yeah. Can I say the other thing?
Please, please.
Is these mountains.
Yeah.
I grew up in very flat areas, so even though I've been here for years now, I still can't get over how beautiful the mountain views are. Like we just saw some snow-capped mountains.
Right.
Like, shout outs to Burnaby. For folks in the States watching this, for folks
Yeah.
in BC or across Canada, it is an incredible privilege to be able to see this beauty all around you. It's kind of on a casual, just on a regular street here in Kingsway,
Yeah.
and you can look to the left and you'll just see these beautiful views of mountains.
It's incredible. It kind of ties back to what you said earlier about like nature too, right?
Oh,
When
yeah, I
you
can
see
appreciate
that
that.
kind of setting.
I appreciate
Like, what is it? I mean, I love to turn the platform to you, right? What is something that you want to showcase? I mean, a lot of our listeners may actually not be following politics, right? And part of this is just to highlight the personal nature of the people who are supporting our country, supporting our community, right? And you talked about the child care benefits. You talked about the bigger pop. I'd love to like turn the platform to you. Like anything you want to share for like to the listeners or others listening.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I tried to do recently was, I feel like there's a lot of cynicism in politics. Like people start to say, what's the point? Who cares if I vote? Because it's all gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to show that we can get things done for people. And one of the things that came up a lot when I was campaigning and meeting folks was that a lot of seniors that I met would complain to me that they could not get their teeth fixed. And they just kind of said that this is a big part of our lives. Like as we get older, often people will have more and more issues with their oral health. And they say we would go to an emergency room for pain and we would get a painkiller, but no actual dental care. We would have a hard time eating, and we would have a hard time just living our lives. And also the sense of lack of dignity. When your teeth are not doing well, it makes you feel embarrassed, like if your teeth aren't healthy or if you lose a lot of teeth. And so a lot of seniors were feeling like they didn't have that dignity. They didn't feel like they could go out in public. And so I fought to bring in this dental care program.
Yeah.
And it has helped literally over 1 million people have been able to go to the dentist, seniors and kids. And so for me, I was hoping to give people some concrete example that if we work together, if we fight, we can actually make a difference. And I wanted to make a difference in the lives of seniors and kids who couldn't afford to go to a dentist, and now we've been able to achieve that. So I wanted to show that because I wanted folks to know now when I say I want to bring down the price of groceries, which are super expensive.
Yeah.
I want to find ways to build homes that are more affordable, which are super unaffordable. I want folks to know that I can achieve that because I've done it before.
All right, that's a wrap. My God, that was a super fun episode. I still can't believe I had the federal NDP leader, Jagmeet Singh, sitting next to me, and it just blows my mind. And I knew he'd be just as engaging in person as he was online. And so my biggest takeaway is actually this concept of radical empathy. And it's something I sensed when I watched him speak in public and in person, but just hearing it in person, it makes so much sense, right? There is a lot of stuff going on, especially as parents, right? And we have to give ourselves grace, give ourselves that space to make mistakes or try different things out. And I think when we lead in that framework, it can make all of our worlds better. And so thank you so much, Jagmeet, for sharing your perspective. You are the ideal guest to talk about modern fatherhood and to really leading these policies for the rest of the country. So with that, take care. Thank you again for listening. Check us out on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, and we'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.